Please help me understand salt. I mean the good salt, sea salt, Celtic salt, and Himalayan salt. Is salt just a mineral carrier? If so, can we just get the same minerals from food? And if this is true, then is salt's only purpose is to hold water? Do you need any salt? This is a good questions. I'm in a confused place as to what salt is really needed for. How exactly does salt work? Well, Carl, I thought that was a really good question. Those people that crave salt, you know that's sodium, you know that's the adrenal glands. Right away. But when you're trying to use salt to get healthy, I disagree with that thinking. Now, we recommend Himalayan or Celtic or real salt. These are full-bodied salts with all the minerals and even the trace minerals. So you've got a bodied salt with a huge amount of chemistry in them, as opposed to sea salt or table salt, where they add iodine and it's basically sodium chloride. I don't deal with salt either. That's a big no. I've always had a big no-no against salt, just to my upbringing and naturopathy. Although, you know, Celtic, real Himalayan salt, okay. A little full-bodied salt, okay. This craving of salty stuff and salad, obviously the craving of salt is an adrenal gland issue. I was wondering what your take on sodium is. What do you feel is the minimum one should get on the diet? I eat a raw vegan diet, but find that my sodium levels can get really low if I'm not focusing on high sodium content foods. Well, guess where your problem is, dear one? The adrenal glands. That's totally an adrenal gland problem. Those of you that crave salt, guess what's going on? Your adrenal glands. You get in and work on your adrenal glands, and then you'll keep your sodium and potassium levels in balance. But move your lymph. I never recommend salt water. Ever do I recommend consumption of salt water. And I recommend no one do that. You got to be real careful. You can't play with your sodium potassium balances. The first rule of thumb is to stop all salt intake. Has been the rule always in natural health. Love the vids. Could you do one on salt, good or bad, types, etc., etc.? Oh, 6-string. Well, you know, we try to push the Celtic, Himalayan, or real salt. Obviously, a robust salt. There's been a wars fought over salt, of course. The sodium chlorides of regular table salt and sea salt, not into those kind of salts. You don't need to overdo the sodium and chloride issue. Not at all. You can use it as an alkalizer, but not really. I mean, we throw people with skin problems like psoriasis in the ocean out here, of course, really helpful in that way. So saltwater baths are very helpful to skin problems and alkalizing. You know, sodium's a good alkalizer, but remember, you want to do it the right chemical way where you're bringing in all the family members so the body can utilize the way it wants to. The adrenal glands, of course, is where you're going to go for sodium-potassium balances, so that's important. And, you know, I would do minimal. If you have a salt desire, you know you have adrenal weakness. If you crave salt, that's straight up adrenal gland weakness. I would shift that. If you have to have some salt in your life, I would shift to seaweed if you can. Dulse or kelp would be a great substitute for salt. If you can stand that taste, then by all means I would go to kelp for sure. I mean, now you got extreme power food. Kelp is a superfood, and that one would be highly advisable. Hi, Dr. Morse. I was wondering what's your take on salt? Real salt, Himalayan, Celtic salt. You could use some of that. Been wars fought over salt, hasn't there? After a couple of weeks of all fruit, I had 1/3 teaspoon of salt in my salad. Next day, I had bags under my eyes. Yeah, see, I don't like to mess with chemistry, guys, and that's a good reason right here, meaning that he slammed his kidneys. And just unbalance your sodium-potassium levels. I don't like to mess with nature like that. I really don't. You know, I consider this very inorganic forms of minerals. And why do we consistently want to go to the earth to eat? You know, and I think we have to go to the trees to eat. We keep trying to dig in the ground, and it's causing lower back pain. You know what I'm saying? We're you know. So I don't know why we consistently want all these elementals and all these inorganic, low vibrational minerals that only serve to clog in many cases. Next day I'd better. But I just crave salt a lot. That's because you have weak adrenal glands. And this is a good one. This is a good question. When you crave salt, you have weak adrenal glands. Go after your adrenal glands and get your sodium potassium into balance, and all this craving will go away. I can tell you right off.